Hi, it's Chris and Susan here, and we're sitting on the banks of the River Nile, and we're staying at a beautiful five-star hotel, the Sheraton, in Luxor, Egypt. Now, there's a bit of a story to this because almost 4 years to the day, I got a phone call from my mum, very, very distressed. My stepfather and she were out here exactly where we are right now on holiday, and he was taken very seriously ill. Now, there was absolutely no question about whether I should jump on a plane and get out here and to actually help her out, because it was so serious. They were actually considering whether he should be taken by helicopter or air ambulance to Cairo. It was a very matter of a life-threatening illness. So I had to drop everything. At that time, Chris and I had our own home business. We were...
No, we didn't have a home business. We were self-employed.
Yeah, we were self-employed.
Management consultants.
Had our own management consultancy business. And realistically, it really was just like a job to anybody else. We had commitments to clients. And I had to say to my client, I'm really sorry, but I have to go. Now, not only did I feel bad that I was letting them down, but also financially it was pretty bad, because I was out here actually for 10 days. So I earned no money at all for 10 days.
Right. I think, it's probably the catalyst that got us to change the way that we work. Because, we got to a position where, even though we had our own business, Susan said, the commitments to clients were such that we were working 6 days a week, long hours, and it was very difficult for us to juggle holidays and all that sort of stuff. And so, this decision to be able to drop this at the moment's notice, drop everything you were doing and just get on a plane and say to your client, I'm sorry, but I'm going because it's family. And whilst they understood, you weren't actually able to say, I'm going to be back in 2 days' time.
I had no idea.
It was open-ended. It was open-ended. So, and whilst I was covering for Susan as much as I could, you couldn't have two people or one person doing two people's workload, basically. So, we made a big decision and we changed. And now, Susan said this is the 4th year anniversary, and Susan's mum made a decision she wanted to come back.
At a moment's notice, I have to say, she was just chatting to me on the phone, and she said, do you know, I've done it. I've booked a holiday. I'm going to Luxor. And I thought, oh no, I'm not sure that this is the right thing. Obviously, she's an adult, she's 83, and she's quite capable of making these decisions, but I just felt I needed to be here with her, and in fact, I wanted Chris to be with her as well. So
I've never been to Egypt.
Yeah, so we just got on the phone and we said, look, Mum, how would you feel if we came with you? And she said, she was in tears actually, and she's really emotional, and she said, I didn't even want to ask you guys if you would do that, but that is the best thing I could ever ask for. So at a moment's notice, we got on the phone, we arranged our flights, and here we are. But that's the important thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that was less than a week ago. Less than a week later, we're out here. And, we didn't have to think about, can we book a holiday? Will the boss let me have the time off? Because all we had to do basically was make sure our 3 pussycats were looked after for a week. And so that was one great big benefit of really and truly working from home and working online. And of course, because we built a residual income with our online business, so that's the income that comes in passively, whether we're at home working our business or not. There was no issue about where's the money going to come from, how we're going to pay for it. But I think the other thing, of course, is that working online, being here, we are actually still monitoring our business. I mean, a couple of hours in the morning, we get up, to be honest, this is working, this is marketing. But we don't treat it as market. We don't treat it as work because we just love so much what we do. And to be honest, I wish we'd made the change.
Oh, so do I.
10 years ago instead of 3 years ago. But it means that at the drop of a hat you can do things that, in this case, because of the story and Susan's mum, it was necessary to do it. But it does mean at the drop of a hat you can do these things. You can come to marvellous places like this. The sun's shining, it must be about 25, 26 degrees. And we are still working from here, not full time. We do an hour or so in the morning, or maybe an hour or so in the evening. We go out, do things. We've been sitting around the swimming pool today.
Yeah, my mum's having a little sleep. We've arranged some tours. We're going out to the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queens, something that Chris has really wanted to do. I was lucky enough to do that many years ago. We're going to go on a balloon ride over the Nile.
Yeah, that's going to be an early start. But it's going to be worthwhile.
It's just going to be fantastic. But as Chris says, because we made that decision, albeit there was a very emotive reason to make that decision when we did it, and I'm sure that something there is going to urge you to make that decision, or has been urging you to make that decision, but you've just not done it. Just do it. Really, seriously, just think about what that freedom of having your own home business actually does for you. Just put your toe in the water. Just get going with it. And you will really be surprised at what comes out of that.
Not just what comes out of that, but what comes out of you. Because personally, I think everybody who starts a home business, because most of us have a job. It's the way we're brought up. It's the tradition, and we have a job effectively. And but there's always the people who are looking for something different, just like you are. There's an entrepreneur inside. There's an entrepreneur hidden in there somewhere. And all you've got to do is dig it out and get it moving. As Susan said, you have to make a decision. And maybe that decision is stick your toe in the water, invest a little bit of your time, a little bit of your money to find out whether that entrepreneur in you is going to come alive, and all of a sudden you could be like us and many, many thousands of others who we work with, just ordinary people living an extraordinary life. Because at the end of the day, what we're doing here, most people dream about, but all it takes is for you to make a decision, take your first steps, and you could be doing this too. We'd love you to do it.
Absolutely would love you to do it. So as Chris said, just go do it.
Absolutely. So I think that's about it. Over and out from Egypt, and I'm sure we'll shoot some other videos while we're here, and we'll put them all together and send a video postcard of our adventures in Egypt whilst we're here.
We have met some amazing people, guys. Even guys you probably can't see beside us, they drive the feluccas here, which are these big boats with great big sails, and there's probably not one going past just because we want one.
No, there's quite a few here.
But these guys are struggling. We were chatting to one of them, just before we shot this video. And I want to share a little bit of that story because, these times are incredibly hard for them, and they are, post-revolution here in Egypt.
Everybody's worried about what's going on in Cairo.
They're worried about that. They're worried about tourism, and tourism's only just started coming back to life again here, and it's their income. That's what they do.
But the biggest thing the guy said, I don't know if you remember, the biggest thing the guy said was, we now have our freedom. And he's talking about Egypt as a whole, the people of Egypt. They now have their freedom to make choices. Yeah, it's going to be hard to watch. But, as Susan said, these guys are entrepreneurs. They're here running their boats. There's 4 over there, there's another 5 down here, each one owned by a different person. Everybody trying.
And we must have spoken to every single one of them because they all want us to go out on their
we'll go later on in the week, I expect. But You know, the thing is that these guys have made a decision. At the moment, life is hard for them. But life within a few months, this summer, they're looking forward to the tourism coming back and their business growing again. You know, everybody has challenges in their lives. They've got a big one at the moment, but they're going to come through it. And you know, what you need to do right now is, as we said, if you want the same freedom that the guys were talking about that we have and many thousands of other people have, then you just got to make a decision. Get started.
And we can't wait to hear your stories. Absolutely cannot wait to hear your stories.
And if we can, you know, if we can be of any assistance, then you know, get in touch. Our details, our Skype, our phone, our email, all that stuff, Facebook, all our details are there. So just get in touch with us if we can help. Over and out from Egypt, darling.
Yes, over and out from Egypt.